Dave, a disappointing afternoon, but can you come out with a bit of credit after the 70-odd minute performance?
Difficult to stay, to be honest with you. I think from our point of view, we just lacked any sort of quality. If I'm honest, if we were gonna nick a goal, it was through a set play or it was through something that wasn't really going to be of great quality. I didn't think there was much quality in the game. For 70 minutes, yeah, we were in there, but if I'm honest with you, first half they probably could have scored, Chester. So got to give them some sort of credit. Sometimes these games, though, they're built up to be big games and big occasions, and it was, don't get me wrong, but sometimes the football doesn't reflect it, and I think the game was a little bit like that. I just said it to the lads in there at full time. Dior's had a header. It's a decent chance. They get a header at the opposite end. It's not as good a chance, in my opinion, and that was the tail of the game for me. Two headed chances, and they've ended up taking this, and it's a chance that they shouldn't get. We've switched off defensively, and the mistakes that we've made all throughout the season. That's just another one to add to the collection.
Yeah, the most disappointing aspect of the game is just the fact that a mistake or a lapse in concentration is just undone all the hard work.
Yeah, because we worked over the last few weeks in training. We wanted to be solid, and I think you can see that we haven't conceded loads of goals. We are solid, but it's just like when we are on the ascendancy, because I felt like we were having a go at that point. We looked like the team who was probably going to have a little bit, and then moment lapse of concentration, and they go and score at the other end. So it's hugely disappointing. But if I'm honest with you, that probably today sums up our season in terms of in front of goal for ourselves, and then at the opposite end we're always susceptible to conceding a goal that we just turn around and look at each other and think, how has it happened? How has it gone in? So it's really disappointing from that point of view.
And you stand here now as the caretaker manager, and there's only 2 games left. What would you feel like needs to be done now moving forward?
I think the club just needs to have a little bit of a clear plan, a clear structure of what it's looking for. Obviously, I know they're recruiting for a manager, but I think it's important that the club resets itself and understands what they are, what they want from it, what they want from a manager, and almost from the top, it needs to be decided what way we're going to be operating. Just a little bit at the minute where it feels on the pitch hasn't been as good. Off the pitch, some of it's gone really well. Some things have been done really well, and then other things haven't been done so well. So I think the club just needs to get a little bit of a process in place in terms of where they need to see it go. In terms of playing staff, obviously that would be up to whoever comes in, and you know and I know that in football there'd probably be a turnover of players, and that's just how it works, because a new manager comes in and looks at that, he'll probably turn around and say, well, I don't want to be associated with it, they're not my players, that type of thing. So time will only tell with that, Steve.
There's been obviously a marked improvement since you took over, and there's been a bit more of attack and play. Do you feel like there was enough in the games to come out of it, or do you feel like just that creativity and that attacking sort of play was lacking at times?
So I've already mentioned it in a previous interview that the last 2 games we've had lots of chances, Bacup Borough and South Shields, and I think today we just lacked that any sort of quality to be able to create anything. I said I wanted shots, I said I wanted crosses in the box. We get an opportunity in the first half, we had our backs against the wall, we get an opportunity, we go down the right hand side of the pitch, put the ball in the box, hits the first man. Second half, Danny Lloyd cuts inside, opportunity to shoot, ends up going across the whole pitch. And I just think that opportunities that we had to put balls in the box, to have shots, we didn't make the most of them.
And where do you feel like the team goes from here now? 2 games left, obviously safety, but pride is on the line essentially, isn't it?
Oh yeah, pride's always been on the line. Pride's probably the biggest thing in terms of when I took over. What we knew we needed to make the club safe. We managed to do that. But pride's always been important. If you're playing for a contract, if you're under contract, you've still got to play to the best of your ability. You've still got to work hard, and you've still got to do all the things that's expected of you. Moving forward, we go into a derby game on Monday. That's hugely important to me. It has to be reflected in our performance. It has to be reflected with the group that we put out there. And then obviously moving on to next Saturday, we don't know what's going to happen on Monday, but Kidderminster could have come here looking to lift the title. And if I'm honest with you, I would be extremely disappointed if I was stood out there watching Kidderminster lift the title on our patch. That would hurt me. So I think it's important that I can get that message. If it is possible, that they can do that. I think it's important that I can get that message to our lads that we don't allow that to happen. I've been a little bit vocal in terms of we can have a say in who lifts the league, so we went to Scunny and it was important that we understood that. We didn't win the game. We've had another chance to potentially put a dent in Chester's hopes of making the playoffs. Unfortunately, we've not been able to do that. If it comes down to the final day and we've only got the opportunity to have a say in terms of who wins the league and it's Kidderminster and we can have a say in it, well then so be it. We have to make the most of that opportunity, and we'll have to just wait and see if that's the scenario that we find ourselves in.
And just finally, what does the club or at least the team need to do to have that impact that maybe wasn't quite there against Southport today?
Two things. Ultimately, at the bottom end of the pitch, the defensive end of the pitch, we have to tighten up in terms of moments of concentration, lapses of concentration. They're costing us. We go to Scunthorpe and both the goals that Scunny score are through our own fault. We shot ourselves in the foot there. Did we shoot ourselves in the foot? Not as much today, because I think Chester could have scored first half, and I have to give them a little bit of credit. I thought they were quite a good, efficient outfit. So the second thing is that we have to be more threatening in front of the goal. Do I think that that's going to change drastically? No, but we have shown moments that we are capable of it. We can only do a certain amount. We can only get on the pitch on Thursday this week. That's the only opportunity we've got. Do I think it's going to make a massive difference for Saturday? No. But if you're asking me the two things that we need to improve on, it's in our box and it's in the opposition box. Stop goals going in our box. We need to score more goals in the opposition box, which we haven't done throughout the season. But hopefully Monday and Saturday we can do.